So what I'd like to do before I get started is I would like to pray. So let's go ahead and do that. Dear Heavenly Father, Holy Spirit, Lord Yeshua, praise you and thank you for bringing all of us here together. It's such a divine honor and a privilege to have Libby, Linda, and Rabbi Adrian and Antoinette join me. It's a pleasure to be able to share this true gift that you have given me to share with others. I would like to give an analogy about what it's all means to me, and hopefully it'll make sense to everybody else. But I just pray for your will to be done. I pray for your grace and your love and truth to be extended to everybody here. And we bring all glory to your name. In your mighty name, Yeshua Mashiach, Yehovah, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Amen. So anyway, what I normally do is I give a brief background. I divide up sessions like these into four. Okay, so the first section I'd like to go over briefly is the history of the memory palace system. It does go way back to ancient Greece, might actually be older than that, but because we have to kind of give something an attribution in time, they attribute it to Simonides. I think almost at random because they need to give it a beginning somewhere. So the first section is the history of the thing. The second is I'm going to give you the 4 rules. Third is, Lord willing, I'll let you guys, we can create a memory palace together, and I'll explain exactly what that is. And then the final section is, Lord willing, also like to have you guys memorize the 10 Commandments right at the end of this lesson. That's what I'm just basically modeling what I normally do in a one-on-one session, but I'm going to do it with a group of you and see how that goes. Okay. So if at any point you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask, and I'll address them as best I can. So the first section again is the history. This is coming from ancient Greece, and as I said, it's attributed to Simonides. The story goes, and this story may not be true. It might just be a legend, but it's kind of fun to kind of explain how the system may have been developed. And the story goes that Simonides, he was a Greek philosopher, and he was in this stone edifice with his friends, a whole group of them. And as you can imagine, they're wearing the white robes, and they have the sticks and the branches in their ears, and they're drinking wine or whatever. And they're talking and talking, because that's what they love to do. They talk about new ideas. And I think there was an earthquake in the stone edifice. It collapsed and everybody died except for Simonides. And I believe the next day he was asked to give a eulogy for all his friends who had died, and there were a great number of them. And surprisingly, he remembered what everybody looked like, what they were wearing, where they were standing in the room. And by using his memory, his gift of memory of remembering where everybody stood in that room, he was able to deliver a beautiful eulogy, specifically catered to each person in that room. And then he thought to himself, wow, my brain automatically does this. I can use this thing that my brain is already doing to store information that I'd like to recall later on. And that's the story they give that explains how the system was developed. It may not be true. And it may be older than Simonides. So that's the idea. So, and then later on, Socrates used it. Socrates never wrote anything down. Everything that was written by a scribe, but it was basically what was coming out of his head. And he actually was adamant against writing anything down. He said it was bad for your memory. There are also ancient cultures that we know of, such as the Druids, that they didn't believe in writing anything down either. Unfortunately, we don't know what happened to them or what they did. In all information that could have been attained through some sort of record was lost because they believed that writing was bad for their memory. Fortunately, we don't know what they were and what they did. So anyway, all that aside, we now see that this system has survived almost by a tiny thread, and we call it memory palace today. Back then it was called loci, which is the ancient Greek word that's related to location or places. We got Jarrett joining us. Hey, Jarrett. Let me see here. Jarrett, we'll talk to him later. And then the second thing that I'd like to talk about now is the 4 rules. Jared, thank you for joining us. I just gave a brief history. This is being recorded, so you can watch this later and get that. But thank you for joining us, Jared. So the second rule for the system, okay, is the 4 rule. And the second part of what we're doing right now is the 4 rules. There are 4 simple rules that you must obey. Okay, and the first rule, I want everybody to say this after me. Focus. The first rule is focus. Can everybody say that with me? Focus. Everybody? Is anybody with me? Everybody with me? Can you say focus?
Focus.
I'm taking
Okay.
notes.
Focus.
Yeah, I just need to make sure you guys are with me. I'm doing this as a participation. The first rule is focus. And the reason why the first rule is focus is because we are so distracted right now. We have a technology obsession. We live in the age of information, and everything is just flying at us at hyper speed. And sometimes, a lot of the times, it's hard to focus. And what we should be focusing on most of all is the Word of God. Okay, so in order to use this system, I'm also have prepared some focus exercises that will help you to increase your focus. It's kind of secondary to, or it's a secondary skill from memory, but it works hand in hand. It's like peanut butter and jelly. You need to have the focus in order to have this great gift of being able to recite things from memory. So focus is the first rule. And it's actually an undervalued skill. Just go ahead and think about all the times you could have avoided some big mistake or whatever. Just if you just simply remain focused, you probably wouldn't have gotten yourself into a load of trouble. It could have been something so simple. I sure I could come up with examples, but you can yourself as well. Okay, so the second rule is another F word, file. Okay, and when you hear the word file, I want you to think like computer file. And this word is actually used interchangeably with location. Okay, so you have the word file and you have the word location. They both mean the same thing. So what you're going to do with me is you're going to create locations or files that will be a sort of storage bin that you can have on you at all times to recall information you need to get later on. And what we're going to do is we're going to use things we're intimately familiar with. For example, furniture in our house. So there's really 2 components to that. It's an area such as your living room or the outside of your house, and the files are the objects that fill that space. So for example, my first memory palace is the house I grew up in, but I start from the outside and I number particular objects in that field. So I'll pick my mailbox, and then I'll pick my neighbor's fence, or my mailbox, the culvert, the hedge, the neighbor's fence, and then the driveway. So within each area, there's always going to be 5 files or 5 locations. Is everybody tracking with me so far?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and again, if anybody has any questions, or if I'm going too fast, let me know. So the second rule, again, is file. And what we're going to be doing when we're creating our memory palace system is we're going to think of a place that we've been to, and then each room will always contain 5 files. So you start from the outside of your house, you pick 5 objects, you go to the inside of your house, it'd be your living room, 5 objects, your kitchen, 5 objects, and so on. And that's how I'm able to get that verse instantly, is because it's always simply 1 through 5 or 6 through 10 or 11 through 15 or 16 through 20 and so on. And so the way we do that now is it's because it's easy to divide, easy to multiply, easy to locate. But what we're going to do when we're creating our files is we're going to use the third rule, which is called action and emotion. Action and emotion is the third rule. Okay. So why action and emotion? Well, you can't really just remember an ordinary mailbox, right? It can't be an ordinary mailbox. Let's just say your first file is a mailbox. In order to make it really pop in your head, you have to create some sort of action and emotion about it. And the way you do that is you're going to create an action sequence that will trigger an emotion. And that's exactly how movies work, by the way, because a movie is a moving image. It creates action. and the action stimulates emotion. And what makes a movie really particularly interesting is one that has an effect on your emotions. It's memorable. Everybody, I think, will remember their first car accident, or or their first date, or something like that. Those things just stick in your brain because of the emotions involved in them. So for instance, Libby, if we were to record your life, as interesting as it is, Libby, if we were to record your life from the moment you woke up to the moment you went to sleep that night, let's say it's 10 hours, a 10-hour long video, and we just recorded everything and left it unedited, right, Libby? If we presented this at the Beth Yeshua, it's the first 10-hour long Beth Yeshua documentary of your life, Libby, in how your testimony, but from yesterday, right? And we presented it to everybody at Beth Yeshua and said, this is 10-hour documentary of Libby's testimony from yesterday. How interesting would that be, Libby, if we did that for everybody? Huh?
Interesting at all.
Huh?
Not very interesting at all.
Exactly. And why is that?
I mean, there would be a lot of lulls and very slow parts in that movie.
Right, exactly. Because maybe there may be times you're just staring off into space, or God forbid you're in the bathroom. I don't think anybody would be particularly thrilled about that. But you know what I'm saying? What makes a movie great is that it's presented in such a way that it stimulates emotions, right? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to create action sequences around these 5 objects. And each room is going to have almost like it's going to have a story momentum that will be unforgettable to you, and you'll be intimately familiar with. So by the time you're done, you'll be able to say, I know what this commandment is. I know what that commandment is at the drop of a hat. Does that make sense? Everybody?
Okay. I have a question.
Okay.
You said that there were 2 components to the file. One is the actual area, and then the second is the furniture, or what? The 5 spots that you're talking about?
So yeah, it's very simple. Like if you stand outside your house, you're going to pick 5 objects in that house, and you're going to create a pathway uh, using the objects that you want. Like for instance, I said I picked my number 1, and they're always going to be in the same order. So my number 1 is always my mailbox. So I'm creating a path. Go to my mailbox, okay, and then I go to the culvert, which is by the mailbox, and then I go to the hedge, and then I go to my neighbor's fence, and in my driveway. You guys know these. Like if you look and imagine the front of your house, you can see things that in what you're going to do is you could pick specific objects, but you're always going to keep them in the same order. Does that make sense?
I have a second question. I'm sorry.
Sure.
So as I am, get into all these different passages, okay? Let's say they're in different books of the Bible, from the Old Testament to the New Testament. Am I going to use the same pathway, or I have to come up with a different pathway for every passage?
Well, the beautiful thing about this system is that you can reuse memory palaces. Another element to this system is that over time you won't even need the memory palace, because it'll be completely absorbed into your memory. So that's the beautiful thing about it. It just kind of, after repeating it to certain extents, it'll just become a part of you. And you see, that's what I meant that by this system is literally you're bringing this, and it becomes a part of your DNA. Imagine the word of God becomes so enmeshed within you that you don't even have to use a memory palace. You just automatically spit out every verse, and with surgical precision too. So and then you can also use the same memory palace like I have for different parts of the Bible. But what you don't want to do is probably use the same memory palace for 2 chapters that are right next to each other or something like that. It should probably be well spaced apart, like maybe a chapter from Old Testament and then a chapter from the New Testament, or something that doesn't have the same kind of storyline or whatever. You might get confused. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, very good. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, so the 4th rule then is review. So just like a videotape or like a movie you've seen many times before, you know what's going to happen before it happens. So that's what you do. You create yourself a little video in your brain that reminds you of the words that are in the Bible, and you play it over and over again. So does anybody want to? I'll tell you what the rules are. If everybody's writing this down, that'd be great. And so the first rule is focus, right? So you want to be able to increase your focus, where I'll give you exercises further down the road that will help you increase your focus. The second rule is file. And again, that means location or whatever piece of furniture. It could be a toilet bowl. It could be a mirror. It could be a shower curtain. All those things are files, locations. And I use the word file and location. I use them, the same. They're both the same thing interchangeably. So those things are like storage bins that you'll keep, verses in or whatever you want. Actually, this is not only good for Bible verses, but you can also use it for simple things as well, or learning languages and whatever you want to learn. But for me, my whole thing is the Bible verses. The third rule is action and emotion. You can't just have, a mirror and say, oh, it's the mirror. There's got to be something about that mirror. What is it about that mirror? Does it make you laugh? Does it make you cry? Did somebody spray paint your mirror? That's going to make somebody angry, I'm sure. And then the fourth rule again is review. You're going to go over these files consecutively. You're going to go back and forth to the point that if I say, what's your 5? You're going to be like, oh, that's my driveway. What's my 10? Oh, that's my piano, and so on. And you will be able to go backwards and forwards. All right. So is everybody on board and want to go to the next section? Or everybody's clear with that? Can we move to the next section?
That's clear to me.
All right. Very good. Thank you for that. And Jared, thank you for the thumbs up earlier. That means a lot to me. Okay. And also we got somebody else, Connie. I'm sorry.
I've got a question.
Okay.
You're saying that we are attaching an action and emotion to each file?
That's right. What you're going to do is you're going to number these files. You're going to keep them in the same order at all times. So my number 1 is always my mailbox. Okay. And then what you do is don't worry, we'll get into it later, but we're going to create like an action story momentum that begins with the mailbox and ends with your 10th. It goes all through 1 through 10. So that you will always can play that video back and forward. And even if I ask you a random number, you'll go directly to that object because you remember it so well, because we're going to create things that make us feel ways about stuff to help us remember that. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, I'm just interested to see how this works.
Okay, very good. Yeah, this is all theory right now. It's all theoretical, but we're going to get into it for this next section. I also want to say hi to Connie. I noticed you came in a little late, but that's okay. We're recording this so you can catch up later. Can I ask Connie where you're from? And
Okay.
there's another. Yeah. What's your name? Oh, your name's Connie?
Yeah, I'm Connie. And you could call me Sister Comfort. I am sisters in Christ with Dr. Levy and Sister Antoinette. I don't know who else is on there, but yes. And so Sister Levy is the one who introduced me to this platform.
Oh, thank you for being here. And I also say Leedy is here. Welcome. Are you with?
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yes,
I'm sorry. I was running late. I didn't see the text till late. So I just saw it and I'm like, oh no. And that's why
it's perfectly fine. Everything's being recorded, so you'll be able to review it later. I also want to say hi to Leedy. How are you doing? Leedy just came in. Is that your name? Is that how I say it, Leedy? Hello?
Yes, good evening. Yes, it's Lady, Leidy, Lady, Thee.
Oh, well, welcome. Are you with Antoinette and Connie? You go to the same church?
I don't, yes, I go to the same church with Sister Antoinette.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you for being here. We're going to the next section, and it's okay. You'll be caught up. And also you can review the video later, because we're recording it. So thank you for being here. We're now going to create a memory palace with everybody in this room. And what I'm going to do is thinking, how can we create the same memory palace? And I thought of a fun and interesting idea. So everybody's been to a McDonald's, right? Or Burger King. What do you, can we take a vote? McDonald's or Burger King?
Burger King.
Burger
Burger
King.
King.
Burger King. Okay, so guys, we're gonna use a Memory Palace Burger King. I was trying to, because normally I do one-on-one sessions, and what I do is I cater that specific Memory Palace to that person. But since everybody has their own places and nobody's been to everybody else's place, so they can't do that so well, I thought, well, maybe everybody's been to a Burger King. Why don't we just create we can all create the Burger King Palace together. Is that fair enough? Since we all been to one before and they're all the same?
Sure.
Okay, very good. So Antoinette, since you asked
Fine.
first, okay, I want everybody in this meeting to envision going to the Burger King. Okay, when we're standing face forward, the Burger King, we can see it. Maybe there's a playpen outside. Can we put a playpen there? There's a playpen. You see the Burger King sign. You see the window in that, and you see the driveway, or maybe the parking lot. Okay, maybe the driveway on the side. Is that everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so all right, Antoinette, I want you to pick any object that may be around when you're facing the front of the building. Pick something that we're all going to agree this is going to be our collective number one object, our number one file location. Okay, what do you want to pick? It can be the sign, it could be the roof, it could be the window, it may be the playpen, the sidewalk, the door. Okay, so everybody sees the door of Burger King, right? Okay, Antoinette, what does this door look like?
It's got the hours of operation on the outside of the door.
Okay, so you guys, everybody see that? Can everybody visualize the Burger King door, and it has the hours of operation on it? Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to look at this door, and now we're going to feel ways about it. Okay, that's not enough. Everybody's seen a regular Burger King door with the hours of operation, written on the front of it. Okay, now let's go ahead and create an action with this. Okay, now Antoinette, you see the door. I want you to pick. Seeing is one of the five senses you have. I want you to pick another sense that you. I want you to do this to the door. You pick one of these senses. Do you want to taste the door, touch it, smell it, or hear it?
Touch the door.
Okay, now this can't feel like an ordinary door. Use your imagination. Okay, you're going to touch this door. Everybody, we're going to touch this door with Antoinette. All right, let's go ahead and touch the door. What does it feel like, Antoinette?
It's cold.
It's cold, like Antarctica cold. Like it's like this is insanely cold.
No, it's just cold metal. It's just cold metal.
Cold metal.
It's cold on the palm of my hand.
Okay. Well, all right. It's cold on the palm of your hand. Okay, but that could be like a regular. How about you? Let's all like take turns touching the handle. Okay, and it's so cold that literally your hand like your handprint, your hand will get stuck to the door. I don't know if you guys have ever been in weather like that. Sure, there's weather like that. If you're not careful, right? In Georgia, and things are frozen over. Okay, so everybody, imagine you touch the door handle. It's one of those tubular metal door handles, right? And your hands immediately get stuck to the door. Oh no, what are we going to do? Is everybody with me here? So if you try to go into Burger King, you can't go in because you're literally stuck to the door, and everybody's laughing at you, and like you're the door opener now. That's your job. Okay, as strange as that sounds, your fate is sealed. You're stuck at that door. All right, everybody here is basically experiencing that right now. Okay, so Connie,
Yes.
you hear, Connie? I want to ask you something. This is going to be a really difficult question. What's your number one? Okay, let me try this. Libby, what's our number one?
What's our number one? The door. The
Yeah, there
burger
you go.
door.
I was joking when I said it was difficult. It's really easy. The number one is the door. Okay, and that's the reason why it's the door is because we all agreed that the number one is going to be the door. That's going to be our first file. Okay, who wants to pick the next object? The next file, I mean, or location. Hello?
I was
We-
kind of hoping to add another emotion, like when we open the door, the smell of grilling meat.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and add another emotion, Libby? What's the next sequence that can happen? Let's say you touch the door, your hand is stuck to it, everybody's laughing at you, and you're like you're opening the door and you're, hey, can you help? And they're like, no, it's okay. We're just going to Burger King, have fun outside in the snow and being frozen to death. We're gonna have fun in our Burger King. What else?
Well, I was thinking about the meat, the smell of grilled meat.
Okay, good. Yeah, guys, that's another thing. Don't you can add whatever you want details. Okay, so why don't we do that? You smell the meat, okay, Libby, that's one dimension of it. Okay, Linda, do you want to add another dimension? Or Antoinette already did something.
I was gonna be hungry, wanting to go inside.
Yeah, but now you're stuck outside. You can't go in, right?
So
That's another kind of annoying emotion, right?
right, disappointed that I couldn't.
Right, exactly. Now you guys are getting it. You know, this is the big deal. This is the big thing about it. It's action and emotion. Imagine going up to the Burger King. You can't wait to get in there and have yourself a nice tasty burger, but now you're stuck to the door because the door, you're literally froze to the door and nobody's going to help you. And you're hungry. Okay. Anything else? Is that Libby? Is that good? Or does anybody want to add another detail?
I'm
Help them?
getting people are laughing. That's starting to get me a little mad.
Yeah, they're exactly. So that's no fun to be the butt of a joke, right? So Libby, why don't you go ahead and pick number 2 then for everybody?
That
And
count,
look, I'm sorry.
the counter.
No. We're not in the Burger King yet. We're still on the outside. So the way this works is you got to pick 5 objects on the outside, and then every room has another 5. So right now we're creating 1 through 5. So we're still on the outside now.
All right. Well, I look up, I see the red and blue and yellow sign, Burger King.
Right. Is that there's like it's in the middle of a burger, right? Is that how it looks? Is it the Burger
Yes.
King look?
King is
All
in
right.
the middle of a burger with a blue
Right.
arch.
All right. Does everybody see that Burger King logo? Okay, so we're looking up with Libby. We're looking at that Burger King logo. Okay, we can see it. We can see the bright colors. Now I want you to pick a different sense. We already did smelling. Do you want to taste this or hear this logo, this Burger King sign? Taste it or hear it, Libby. Oh, and also wait, before we go to the next location really quick, direct your attention to number 1. I want you to see on that door, there's a, have you ever seen the Ghostbuster sign? Where it's like the ghost with the circle and the red X through it. Everybody know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Or okay, so I
Yes.
want you to imagine a Buddha with a circle and an X through it on the door. Like somebody like vandalized the door and put like a sticker that has a Buddha with an X through it. Like we don't like Buddhism or something like that. Okay. Everybody got that? And keep that there. And we're like, what? Well, I'm stuck to this door and now I'm stuck staring at this Buddha sign that says no Buddhas or, an X through it. Okay. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Now we look up at the sign, Connie. I want you to pick what you want to do this. You want to taste it or hear it? What do you want to do this sign? I know it doesn't make sense, but we're using our imagination. So don't worry. Even if you eat the sign, or what, you won't get hurt. It's only your imagination. I promise you. So what do you want to do to the sign, Connie?
I'm not looking at it anymore because it has that Buddha sign. So now my eyes are turned and I'm not looking at it.
Okay, so I'm not sure I understand you. So you're looking at the sign and you got what, you're blinded by the sign or something?
I'm
Sister,
looking.
Sister Comfort, the Buddha sign is on the door. He's telling
Mhm.
you the sign, you know, the sign of the Burger King. And do you want to hear it or taste it? What sense do you want to engage?
Yeah, so Connie, we're picking, the number one is the door. Okay, so we're picking files. Okay, we're going to use these files to remember things we need to remember later on. So the number one is the door, and the number one has a Buddha sign on it. It says no Buddha. Okay, so that's the number one. Now we look up and we see the Burger King sign. That's the number two. Does that make sense, Connie?
Yes.
Okay, so look at that sign, and I want you to imagine either tasting it, or do you want to hear it? What do you want to do to this sign? Do you want to taste it or hear it?
Hear it.
Okay, so what sound, and use your imagination, what kind of sound is this Burger King sign making? Anybody want to pick a sound for the Burger King sign?
A sizzle.
A sizzle. Oh, well, that's great. It's really advertising what they do at that Burger King, that you guys hear the like, and that's not helping. Like, remember we were hungry and now we hear this nice, tasty, sizzling sound. Like, right, Linda? This is just making us even more angry or hangry. We're hungry, angry, right? And we're stuck to the door and we hear the sizzling sign. Not only that, you can smell an aroma of the burger coming down. It's like somebody's playing a prank on you, right? This is just not fun. And then you maybe hear even additional laughter. Like they're really laying it on thick that this is like, you know, this is like not fun. This is not cool, right? Everybody with me on this? So, so Linda, let me ask you this. The number two is the Burger King sign. Okay, so on top of the Burger King sign is a I want you to see, Linda, do you know who Billy Idol is?
No, sorry.
Yeah, Billy Idol.
Oh, Billy Idol.
Yeah, Billy Idol. Billy
Yeah.
Idol's up there, okay, and out of nowhere, we have a concert, okay, around the Burger King. You're stuck to the door, and people are pushing up to you and saying, "Oh, it's Billy Idol," and he's singing a song about how he loves Burger King, and he's got a burger and he's eating it in your face and singing in the microphone and laughing, okay, and saying, "Don't you wish you had this burger?" It's the new hit from Billy Idol, okay?
Okay.
All right. So we got that going. All right. So what's the number one then, Linda?
The number one is the door that's really cold and I'm stuck
Right.
to it.
Right. And number two is what?
It is the sign where the sizzle is making me even more hungry, and Billy Idol is singing a song about how wonderful the burgers are.
Right, exactly. Good. Thank you. And on and again, what's on Jarrett? Can I ask you something, Jarrett? What's on the Burger King door? On the number one? What's on the door? Jarrett? Are you there?
Hours of operation.
And what else? What else is on there? Remember, we're stuck to
The
the door.
Buddha sign with the X through it.
Perfect. Great. All right, guys, let's go ahead. Jarrett, I want you to pick a number three now. A number three object, anything you want. That's going to be at the Burger King.
The a seating, a table.
Not on the inside. Let's stay on the outside. So
We're still on the outside.
Yeah, we're still. What we're gonna do? We're gonna pick 5 objects
We
on
were
the
just at
outside.
the door. Okay.
Huh?
So we're still outside.
Yeah,
At
we're
the
still
door.
outside. So the number one is the door. The number two is the Burger King sign on the roof. So
Okay.
now pick something else that may be like a play, like the playpen maybe, or maybe the sidewalk, or maybe the drive-through on the side.
How
Uh,
about the chimney with
the what?
the chimney?
Okay, the chimney. Okay, does everybody see that there's a chimney on the roof? Okay, and now Billy Idol goes over to the chimney, right? He's rubbing his hands. It's a cold wintry chimney, Burger King, day, and Billy Idol is done singing his song about the burger. He goes over to the chimney, and there's like smoke coming out, and he's rubbing his hands. Everybody see that? Okay, and then what comes out of the chimney, surprisingly, are little veins. Okay, I want you to see veins. Okay, and Billy Idol, he grabs one of the veins and he sticks a needle in it, like he's starting to draw blood from these veins, these like spidery veins that pop out of the chimney on the roof. Can everybody see that? I know it sounds weird, but this is just what's happening. There's nothing really to stop it. But Billy Idol walks over to the chimney, to number 3. Out of the chimney come these little spidery veins, like purpley bloody veins, right? And he sticks a needle. It's like, oh, sweet, I'm gonna get some of this blood from this vein that popped up out of the chimney. You see that? Everybody with me on that?
I follow. Yes.
Okay, very good, very good. So now we got 1, 2, 3. The number 1 is the door. Okay, we tried to get in there because we're really hungry or in a rush, and now we're stuck because our hands are frozen to the door, and we see this big fat Buddha on the door with an X through it, red X, right? We look up to the number. I'm sorry. You have a question, Libby? Okay, never mind. So we go up to the number. We look up to the number 2. It's the Burger King sign. You see the big, beautiful Burger King sign. It's making the sizzling noise, making us very hungry. And then all of a sudden, we see Billy Idol dancing and gallivanting on top of it with a burger, telling him about mocking you with his burger and saying, and people are cheering him, right? When we go to the number 3, Billy Idol takes a break and he walks over to the chimney. He starts rubbing his hands and warming up his hands, and out of this, like it's almost like he's conjuring up like these veins that come out, and he starts sticking a needle in the vein. He's like a scientist now. He's drawing blood from the veins. Got it? We're creating this story momentum together. Okay, so now why don't we get Lady? You with us, Lady? Or Lady, sorry. You still here?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, so I want you to go ahead and pick. Before I go there, let me ask you this. Let me quiz you. What's the number 1?
The door,
Great. What's the number 2?
the Buddha sign,
Very good. And what's the number 3?
the
No,
chimney.
no. What number 1 is the door with the Buddha sign. Number 2 is the Burger King sign with Billy Idol on top of it. Okay.
Oh,
All right. And what's the number 3?
the chimney.
Very good. Very good. And what's coming out of the chimney, Lady?
It said there's like veins, and Billy, I don't know the person, but Billy is draining blood out of it.
Okay. Very good. So why don't I get very quick? I'll show you who Billy Idol is so you can get a visual on my screen. Okay. We'll just get a quick, guys. Let me just humor me for a little bit. I'll show her what this guy looks like. Okay. So that she can get the image of this guy in her head. It's very important. Okay. We're going to share the screen here very quick and give her an idea. All right. So you see this? Hold on. You see this guy right here? Right here? You see him? Let me know, Lady, when you see him. You see this guy?
Yes, I do see him.
All right, that's Billy Idol. Got it? And that's the guy that's been mocking us with the burger this whole time. All right. And now he's going over to the chimney. He's rubbing his hands on the chimney. There's veins coming out of the chimney, and he's sticking a needle. He suddenly turns into a doctor, and he's drawing blood out of the chimney, out of the veins of the chimney. Okay. All right. So, Lady, I want you to go ahead and pick number 4. What do you want to be the number 4 of this memory palace we're creating together? Pick the next object. It can be the playpen, maybe downstairs, or maybe the drive-through. What do you want?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do the playpen.
Okay, the playpen. Very good. Now the playpen, let's say Billy Idol jumps down from there. He's like, I want to play. Okay, now this guy's a real loony guy. And he's like, wow, that's really dirty in there. And what he does is he drags out this big bathtub. Okay, it's got soapy water. Could you see the soapy water and the bubbles? Okay, and on top of that, on the side of this bathtub is a calendar that says September. Okay, and he's washing the the playpen with the soap from the bathtub, and he's washing it. He's like, this thing needs a bath. Okay, and he's washing this playpen. Everybody with me? Because everybody see this happening? Libby, you see this happening here? Do you believe this?
I'm working on picturing this. I'm working on it.
Okay.
So at the end, you broke off. I don't know if it was my internet, but at the end, it just broke off. That's what I
Okay,
was trying.
so
You guys were
let
still
me-
here.
guys, I want you to, let me start from the beginning so that we can get this together, okay? So we're going up to Burger King. It's a cold, cold day. The snow is coming down, okay? And we're really hungry. We go up to the Burger King sign, or the Burger King door, right? And we grab it with our hands. Immediately, our hands are stuck to the door. And this is not fun, okay? Because now we're stuck outside. We can't go in. Like every time you try to go in, your hand's not going with you. And then on top of that, there's this big fat Buddha sign, all right? And there's a red X through it, okay? Everybody with me? And then you go and we look up to number 2, right? Now we'll go to number 2. It's the Burger King sign, okay? And this Burger King sign is emulating this sizzling sound to stimulate, and you can smell even more the burger. And now you're even more, more hangry now. And on top of that, Billy Idol is on there, okay, and he's singing with his burger, shaking it at you. Oh, this is the best burger, and you can have it. The best burger of our lives. Okay, that doesn't sound like Billy Idol. It sounds, but that's Billy Idol. Okay, that's number 2. And then we go to the number 3, which is the chimney on the roof, and there's smoke coming out, and he's warming his hands on there. Okay, and then he turns into a doctor. Suddenly he's concerned about this chimney. Okay, on the chimney are veins, and he's drawing blood. He's sticking a needle in the vein of the chimney, the veins of the chimney, and he's drawing blood. And then he jumps down. He goes to number 4, which is the playpen, and he goes, I'm gonna clean this this playpen because it's dirty. And he drags out a big. You ever see those bathtubs that are just kind of they have legs and they sit on the ground by themselves? Okay, he drags one of those out, and he starts cleaning up. Okay, he's cleaning the bathtub, or cleaning the playpen with the soapy water from the bathtub. Okay, on the bathtub is a calendar that says September. Jared's got to go. That's okay. I'll send you the video, brother, and you'll review this later. Thank you for sharing with us. Okay, so who can I challenge? Who wants to be challenged so far? Does anybody remember what the sequence? Could anybody tell me what the locations are? Anybody want to try?
Yeah, well, I've been taking notes, so I can do it.
I'm sorry?
I've been taking notes, so I can do it.
Okay, but you see, the thing is you better, guys, I forgot to tell you, you shouldn't be taking notes at this part. This is supposed to be a brain exercise at this point. The point is to free you from taking notes so that you don't have to take notes at this point anymore. Okay?
Right, then my memory then. Right.
Yeah. This is supposed to be.
It's a cold
Okay.
day. All right. It's a cold day, and I'm approaching a Burger King, and I'm hungry, and I see the door, and the door has operations, and it has this Buddha with an X on it. And I touch the hand, super cold, and my hand gets stuck.
Right.
Okay. And as it's stuck, people are laughing, which it's not, that's making me very angry. I'm already hangry, and now I'm getting okay, and they're laughing, not helping me. And I look up, and I don't know how, but I got a whiff of the delicious grilling meat. But I look up and I see the sign. I see the Burger King sign in between
That's
the
your
buns.
number 2, right?
That's my number.
Right.
All right. So I see that sign, and then there's Billy Idol, just random there. Billy Idol and he's like singing with a hamburger in his hand, and I'm ready to smack him now. I'm just kidding. All right, he's singing with the hamburger. Okay.
Right.
And then it got really weird because number 3 is this chimney, and all these are coming out, and he's like playing doctor, putting a needle in the veins and drawing blood out of these veins. So
Right.
that's 3. Number 4, hold on. Oh, then the playpen. So he comes
Right.
out with a bathtub with soapy water, and he's like, oh, the playpen's dirty, let me clean it. And so he
Yeah.
starts cleaning it. And now I'm not as hungry because I'm very distracted by this craziness.
Yeah.
And that's
Very good. So good. You guys with us? So that's how we're gonna remember our 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's go ahead and have Linda. Why don't you pick a number 5, Linda? I think maybe the best thing, actually, let me pick the number 5, guys. Let me make it easier. Guys, the number 5 is just going to be, we can see the side view of the drive-through, okay? All right? So Billy Idol goes over and he says, oh man, I got to get back to work. And you know how at Chick-fil-A they have the people standing outside taking your order anymore, standing outside taking your order? That's what Billy Idol does, okay? And he's taking orders from your father and your mother. Okay. Let's imagine your father and your mother are driving up in whatever car they are. They come up to Billy Idol and they order all kinds of food from him. And he says, don't worry, you don't have to pay me. It's on the house. I'll pay for it. And he whips out $100 bill and he pays for their meal. He says, by the way, I don't even work here. I was pretending to take your order. I'm actually going to take your order and order your Big Macs and your burger, and it's on the house. It's on me. Okay. Can you see that happening at the driveway? Everybody with me?
and I get to eat, right? I'm at the drive-through now, and he's paying.
Yeah. Billy Idol actually goes ahead and he frees you from the door. He brings you to your parents and he says, I'm going to go ahead and pay for you and your parents for a nice meal because it is their anniversary. And we're going to give them a free meal on the house today at Burger King for in honor of their anniversary. All right.
All right.
Everybody. So number 5 again is the driveway. We get the side view of the driveway with Billy Idol paying for you and your parents to have a free meal at Burger King. All expenses paid. Okay. And so let's go ahead and I want to test somebody here. How about we test Antoinette? Antoinette, you ready?
Oh boy. Okay.
All right. Let me run it through you and then I'm going to ask you really quick. So the number 1 is the front door with the Buddha sign. Our hands are stuck there. Okay. We look up. Number 2 is the Burger King sign with Billy Idol, taunting us with a burger, singing a song. The number 3 is the chimney where he goes and he puts he sticks a needle in the vein of the chimney to draw blood. Then number 4 is the playpen with all the, how they have the balls and the slide. He's going over there with a bathtub. He starts cleaning the playpen. Okay. And then number 5 is he goes over to the driveway and he takes our order for our father. Let's say your father and mother there. Okay. And he takes your order and he pays for your parents' meal. Got it? So now, Antoinette, I'm going to ask you, with that image in your head, what is the object? I'm just going to ask you for the file, okay? It's either going to be, the playpen, or it's going to be the driveway, or it's going to be the chimney, or whatever, okay? Now, you ready? What is the number 1 object? The file.
It's the door, the frozen door.
Okay, what's the 5th file?
Is the drive-through meal.
Correct.
Meal gift.
Yeah, exactly. And your father and your mother there, and Billy Idol's paying for your meal. Okay. All right, Libby.
He's unfrozen me from the door.
Yes.
And he's buying us quote unquote Big Macs at BK.
Yeah, Big Macs at Big Macs at Burger King. Wow, that would be a miracle. Okay. So on top of that, he's buying Big Macs. Okay. So Libby, let me ask you this. You ready? What is number 3?
Number 3 is Billy Idol. The chimney smoke is coming out, and he's like playing doctor, drawing blood out of these veins coming out of the chimney.
Very good. And Linda, what's number 4?
Number 4 is, no, hold on. Let's see, after. The playpen, yes.
The playpen, yeah, that's right. The playpen in the bathtub and all that. Great. Lady, let me ask you, lady, what is the number 2?
Number 2 is the Burger King sign.
Very good. Okay, guys, now we're going to go inside the Burger King. And Linda, I want you to go ahead and pick the number 6 object within the Burger King. Anything you want. It could be the counter, it could be a table, it could be the menu, it could be the cash register.
The menu.
The menu. Okay, everybody, the menu is the number 6. So we're looking at the menu and we notice something pretty strange, but it's basically one there's a drink that's on sale. It says the Burger King Red Rum special. They're actually selling alcohol at Burger King now. It's red rum. It's a red bottle. It looks like a cherry popsicle color, and it's almost like they're directing it to kids, but it's for adults. Come try the red rum. Okay, and we're like, no, you guys can't be selling this. We protest. So we bring our signs and we say, you cannot sell alcohol to our kids. No red rum. And we march around the store. You see us marching around the store. We're stamping on our boots and they're saying, listen, you better get out of here. We're calling the cops. We said, no, you take away that red rum. You can't be selling red rum to kids. What's wrong with you? All right, everybody with me? We got to take our stand. All right, Libby, why don't you pick the number 7?
Did we pick the counter yet?
No, we didn't.
The counter.
Okay, so on the counter, you're talking about the front counter where they have where you can give your order?
Yep.
Okay, so on that counter, right? It's a nice slick, what is it, beige counter, right?
Yep.
You see, it's kind of like it's like buttery, it's like it's slippery, right? Okay, and I want you to see and this is gonna sound strange, but it's like there's an adult video store guy there. Okay. There's an adult video store. I'm sorry I have to do this to you, but guys, this is the only way. Trust me, it'll make sense later. There's an adult video guy store there, and he's particularly angry at us because he likes selling red rum at Burger King and stuff like that. All right. So he's about to call the cops by the cash register, and he's raising a big fuss because he's the king of the whole operation. He's the Burger King guy. Okay. And you can see he's getting really angry. He's like, no, you guys leave my adult video store. Suddenly it's an adult video store, Burger King. Okay. All right. So what's the number 8, lady?
Walking around the BurgerKing.
Yeah, just pick a number 8. It can be like maybe the soda machines.
Oh,
or
I
maybe...
have to. Okay, I have to pick one. I'll do the table sitting area.
Okay, the table sitting area. Okay, I want everybody, let's look at this one particular Burger King table that seats 4 people, right? There's 4 chairs. It's a round table. No, it's a square table, okay? And we look at this square table and it's got one single burger on it. And I want you to see okay, I'm there, okay, and I'm dressed up as a burglar, okay, so you can just see it's me, but I'm dressed up as a burglar, and you can my eyes are coming out of the ski mask, and I'm sneaking up, I'm looking both ways while everybody's distracted. I'm gonna steal this burger. Okay, so I grab this burger from on the Burger King uh table, right? And as I lift it up, an alarm goes up and says, "Intruder alert! Intruder alert! Someone's trying to steal the burger!" And an alarm comes off, and I go and I put it down, and I go, "Oh!" And I run out the door. That just happened. Okay, everybody with me? I'll take that as okay. Antoinette, what's the number 6?
You mean number 9? Oh, you're testing her. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm testing everybody. Okay, what's the number 6?
The number 6 is the menu.
Right, and what's on the menu?
Red rum.
Red rum, right? They're selling
And we're
red rum.
very angry about it.
Yeah, they shouldn't be selling red rum to kids. This is supposed to be a
Right.
family fun Burger King place. Okay, lady, what's the number 7? Lady?
Protesting.
Yeah, but the number 7 is the location, the file.
Oh, outside. We're walking around.
No, we're inside the building now. We're in the Burger King. The number 6 is the menu that had the red rum. The number 7 is the counter, right, with the adult video store guy. I know that sounds weird, but I have to keep it there. You'll see why later. And he's calling the cops because he's the Burger King guy, and he's got the XXX. You ever see those video stores? He's got like the XXX sign behind him, and he's calling like they're gonna shut down my whole operation because they don't want to sell rum to kids. Okay, so that's the number 7, right? And the number 8 is the table. Okay, it's a Burger King table, and I run over to it, and while everybody's distracted, I try to steal this Big Mac off the table, and then an alarm goes off. Intruder alert, trying to steal a burger, and I put it down, and I run out the door. Ah! Okay.
Can I interject a second?
Sure.
So what I'm observing is that Kegan is trying to attribute all kinds of senses, sounds to each location, and this is going to tie in. We're going to go back to these emotions. And we're outraged at the rum, we're outraged at the adult video guy, and this is going to create this, as he calls it, memory palace, where we then can memorize.
Well, yeah, and by the way, you'll see what happened, but you're basically already memorizing the 10 Commandments without even realizing it. So, but we'll get to that fun part later. All right. So, lady, can I try again? What's the number 7?
Number 7. It is. I'm trying to remember. It wasn't the table. It wasn't the. It was the outraged men calling
Yes,
the cops
it's
because
the
of
counter.
like he's the owner of like the adult
Yeah.
video store, so he's outraged.
Yeah, at number 7, right? And he's by the counter, right? The counter is like where you go up to order your burgers, right? That's the number 7. The number 7 is the counter. The action is the guy, the adult video store guy, standing by the counter and yelling and trying to call the cops on us. Okay. Linda, what's the number 8?
Eight is you, Kegan. You are the burger thief, and
Yes.
you try and steal the burger and run out the door, but the alarm goes off, and you drop the burger and run away.
Right, exactly. That's the action. The number 8 is the table. The action and emotion around the table is me trying to steal that burger off the table. Correct. Good job. Okay, Linda, why don't you go ahead? Who hasn't picked a number? Libby, you pick a number 9.
Okay, good. So as all this noise is happening with the alarm, I go get soda and it spills and it's sticky on my hands. So I feel sticky.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, you're like, man, all this action is making me thirsty. I'm like, you ever like it's like so upset that you're like, I got to do something, like you're nervous. Maybe if I get a drink, it'll help me remove my anxiety or something like that. So you go over there, you flub around, and you actually spill the drink on your hands. It's all sticky. Very good. I also want to interject and say that there's a bear. He's licking up the soda. He's actually looking like, can you see a bear? He's licking up the soda off this soda machine. All right, a bear's there. But if you look closely, it's actually a man in a bear suit. It's a false bear because it's a man in a bear suit licking the soda. Maybe he's trying to get some soda inside of his like bear suit, but he can't do it. Right, and it's all sticky too. Don't forget that. All right. All right. Who hasn't picked a number yet? Lady, why don't you pick the last number, 10? So to reiterate, number 9 is the soda machine. Number 8's the table. Number 7 is the counter where you order the burgers, and number 6 is the menu. Right, the menu with the red rum sign. Lady, you picked the number 10. What's the last one? Anything you want.
I would say the condiments side, like the side of the condiments next to the drinks.
Okay, yeah. Don't they put the condiments near the trash can or something like that?
Yeah,
I think,
yeah. Like,
yeah, so condiments next to the trash can. Okay. So so everybody sees that, and you can kind of smell the French fry aroma around this place, and you're like, man, you get the mayonnaise and stuff like that. So you see the mayonnaise, there's the ketchup, and there's the mustard, and oddly enough, there's the Jello. It's Jello. There's a Jello dispenser they just added. It's a new thing. Come to Burger King. We now have ketchup for your fries, mayonnaise, mustard, and Jello for your fries. Green Jello. Okay. So that's now available. So we go over there and we dispense some green Jello onto our trays, and we bring it over to the table, and we have fun. And that's end scene. Okay. So by the way, we just created 10 locations, right? That we'll never forget. They'll always be with you. And all you have to do is go backwards and forwards through them. You review, remember the 4 rules, right? Focus, file, action and emotion, review. Okay, now who wants to be challenged from about all 5 locations now? Or who wants to yeah, who can I ask? Who wants to be challenged about this? Anybody want to step up to the plate?
Oh, what the heck?
Thank you very much. Okay, Antoinette, we're going to go ahead and test you. What's the number 1 file?
The frozen door.
Okay, very good. What's
the door handle?
Okay,
right.
And then what's the first commandment then?
You shall not have any other gods but me.
Right, and the reason why is because there's a Buddha, right? There's a Buddha sign that has no other gods. You guys remember the Buddha sign on there? The first command, where our hands stuck to the door, no other gods. Got it? Okay, what's the second location?
The second location is the sign.
The Burger King sign, right? What
yes,
else?
The BK sign. And it's Billy Idol is singing on the Burger King sign.
Okay, all right, and he's got a burger and everything. Therefore, what is the second commandment?
Okay, you should not make any idols.
Right, because Billy Idol's up there. No Billy Idols. No idols.
Right. No idols. Right.
Everybody see where I'm going with this? Okay, so what's the third location, Antoinette?
The chimney.
Right, the chimney, and what else?
Chimney and the veins that are coming out of the chimney and the blood.
Right. Okay, so what's the third commandment? This one might be a little bit of a stretch, but not much if you focus on certain words, certain key phrases there. The third commandment is do not use the Lord's name in vain. Remember, Billy Idol is drawing blood from the chimney. There's pumping veins on the chimney. He's drawing bloods in vain. Don't use the Lord's name in vain. Third commandment. Got it?
That's right. Yes.
Okay. Let me try Linda. What's the fourth location?
The fourth location is the playground that's really dirty and has to be scrubbed down.
Right. Okay. It's really dirty, and Billy Idol is there. He's pulling out what to do to clean the playpen.
The bathtub.
Right. So therefore, what is the fourth commandment?
Keep the day Sabbath day holy.
Remember the Sabbath, right? Because he's got the bathtub, right? Remember the Sabbath. All right. Very good. All right. How about the fifth location, Linda? Everybody remember the fifth location? So we got to the door, we went to the Burger King sign, we went to the chimney. We
The
went to
drive-through.
Right, the drive-through. Okay, what
With mom
happened at
and
the
dad.
drive-through? Right,
Mom and dad were celebrated.
right. So what's the fifth commandment?
Honor your mother and your father so that your
Right.
days will be long in the land.
There you go. That's the fifth commandment. Very good. All right. Lady, now we're going inside the Burger King. What's the sixth location?
The menu.
Right. What's on the menu?
The rum. Or
Yeah, the red rum, right? It's got a
Yeah.
red bottle, red rum.
Mhm.
So what's red rum spelled backwards?
You shall not murder.
Right. The sixth commandment is do not murder because the red rum. No murder. Do not murder. All right. Libby, what's the seventh location?
Seventh location is the counter. Is it the
Right.
counter?
Yes, the
count-
counter, right.
Buttery, and then that adult guy is there. That adult
Right.
film guy or adult store guy. He's all
Yes.
okay. So
Seventh commandment is what?
Oh, you shall not commit adultery. If I had to guess.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. You see, I knew you guys were going to get that. I felt kind of weird saying that, but I had to say it so that it would stick. No adultery. All right. Antoinette, what's the eighth location?
The table.
Okay, and what happened at the table?
You were there and you took the hamburger and you were dressed like a burglar and you ran towards the door and you dropped the burger
Right.
and
I was
the
trying to-
alarm went off. Right.
Right. So what's the eighth commandment?
Thou shalt not steal.
Perfect. All right. Lady, what's the ninth location?
The soda machine.
Right. What happened? Do you remember what happened at the soda machine?
Yes, I think. Well, let me try to remember. Got some soda and it spilled all
Right.
over. And now I was feeling angry.
Right. And there was a guy in a bear suit as well. Right. Remember the guy in the bear suit? We thought it was a real bear, but when you look closely, it's not, it's a false bear. It's a man in a bear suit. He's trying to get some soda in his bear suit. It's kind of hard to get soda and drink directly from the soda fountain in a bear suit. What could that commandment be?
You shall not covet your neighbor.
No, that's not it.
You should not bear false witness against your neighbor.
There you go. That's it. Aha,
Mhm.
you got it. All right. Well, now the 10th, what was the 10th location, Linda?
Wait. What's the connection there? Sticky soda. Oh,
Well,
because this represents
Bear.
itself.
Mhm.
the bear man, the guy looks like, at first we think it's a bear, but we look closer, it's a guy in a bear suit, so it's a false bear. Don't bear false witness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty funny. I think it
Yeah.
works. What about number 10? Linda, you remember what number 10 is?
It's the condiments, and there's Jello to put on your
Right.
fries.
So what's the 10th commandment?
Do not covet your neighbor's stuff and do not covet your neighbor's wife. Don't be green with envy.
Yeah. So yeah. So what's the how did we remember that though? With
With the green-
no. With the number 10 is the condiments.
But
Remember
wasn't
the
it
condiment? The number 9 is the soda fountain with the bear in
Yeah,
the
but the-
false bear.
oh with the condiments? It was a green jello. It was ketchup. It was a green jello.
Right. So how does that make you remember do not covet your neighbor's goods?
Green with envy.
Okay. Yeah. Also Jello. Don't be jealous.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So jealous is another way of saying do not covet. Or green with envy too. Is good. So that really works out, right?
Yes.
Mm.
Okay. So now you have the 10 commandments all memorized. That's how the memory palace system works on a basic level. And now what I'd like you to do is just keep running through that in your head and go backwards and forwards and have people quiz you. You could go to random places, even go to like a Publix and say, go ahead, say the cash register, go ahead and I know all 10 commandments. Go ahead and ask me a number 1 through 10. 9. Oh, 9. That commandment is don't bear false witness. Things like that. And that's just the basic level. Once you get that basic foundation and you get comfortable with each of those objects that you always, if I, for instance, Linda, Linda, what's the 5th location? Just give me the location.
It is. Oh, I'm not so good at this.
It's okay.
The
Just go.
menu.
Yeah,
No,
it's
5th side, I think.
5 is right before the menu.
Yes,
Right?
so it's
What is it?
the drive-through.
Right, you got it. And don't say you're not good at this. You're good at this. You're an expert. Linda, you were doing great. So you see that how that works now, guys? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Can
How's
imagine we did this as a group. So you can imagine that when you start thinking about your own personal intimate memory palaces, you're thinking of your own house, your own space, private space, it would be even easier to remember.
Right. It was kind of, I was trying to think of how to do this as a group was a little bit of a challenge. I thought, well, Burger King would be an easier one to do since we've all been to a Burger King. So, and then also, yeah, it's good with your own, and you can, by the way, use anything. You can even use Beth Yeshua. You can use your own personal house. You can use your friend's house. You can even use a park. You can use a museum. There's no limit to what you can use as a memory palace. Okay, so anyway, that's the basics of the system. If anybody would like to challenge me again on my Bible memory stuff, you can, or if you have any other questions, well, for instance, how about this, guys? I'm good. What I worked on recently is, just to show you what you can do if you really put your best effort into this. Does everybody have access to a Bible right now, or a Bible online or something like that?
Yes.
Why don't everybody just go to either Bible Gateway or something like that? Go to Isaiah 40. Okay. And there's the scriptures version is probably the closest to the one that I've memorized. So it's going to be if you go to the translation TS 2009, they're going to be a little bit, it's going to be a little bit different, but for the most part, it's going to be the same. And I'd like to quote that from memory, so that you can see that it is possible to even memorize something like that. Is everybody there? Go to TS 2009. That's the scriptures translation. on whatever app you use or whatever you got going on. If you don't have that, just use your regular Bible if you have it with you. Everybody got it? Let me know. Good?